Hello, all. Recently, I gave a presentation at the Teacher Initiation Conclave, which was the function to distribute appointment letters to the Govt LP School teachers who are freshly recruited and will be joining the school soon. So I feel that this should be shared with more and more teachers of LP school, be it any kind of school. So I'm putting it on my YouTube channel. So the idea is that when a teacher joins, especially at the lower primary level, what are the different expectations? What are the different jargons and schemes and projects and initiatives that they should be aware of? What should be the approach? What are the targets? What are they working with, etc., etc.? So this will basically work as a induction course, as a brief induction, if you may say that. And yes, of course, a detailed training is always better, but this will give a gist of what you're supposed to know, and then you can work it out. You can do study on your own and stuff like that. So this is essentially for all the newly recruited teachers, or in any LP school. If somebody is joining, this will be useful for you. So let's get started with the presentation. So the first thing I want you to read and in fact note down and remember is this wonderful quote by Albert Einstein. I never teach my pupil. I only attempt to provide the conditions in which they can learn. One of the most important things in teaching is that we create an environment of learning. The National Education Policy 2020 also talks about this very nicely, that learning is not enough. They should learn how to learn. And once they do that, they can achieve whatever they wish to achieve. And this can only be made possible by creating that environment for learning. So that, dear teachers, is the most important thing, that in school we create that wonderful atmosphere of learning. That fire inside should be inculcated, where they are just eager to learn new things, read on their own, research on their own. Now with the power of internet, everything is available on their fingertips, but that kind of learning environment should be there. So that is your primary purpose, apart from, of course, the other things as completing syllabus, teaching, etc., etc. But the creating an environment for learning, that is very, very important. So I hope you remember this line when every day you go to school. So what education can do? What is the immense potential of education? We talk about education a lot, and we all know deep down inside that how important it is. But let's put it in terms of some facts. So empowering the young to discover and achieve their ambitions is very important. See, one of the major objectives of education is empowerment of our children, so that they become a learned citizen. They know their rights, they know their duties, and they have the skill set to achieve whatever they want to achieve. So this should be the purpose of education. And on top of that, elementary education is the basis for everything. So that becomes the foundation. So that makes your job the most important, LP school, because what they do, how they perform in UP, how they perform in secondary and higher secondary, it all depends on how the foundations are made in the elementary level. So this is that is why it's very, very important. Look at this fact. Each year of schooling leads to increase of 0.37% of GDP. A wonderful fact which will tell you or motivate you on the importance of schooling. Now, India's expected years of schooling, EYS, is 12.8 years. So every child is expected to at least go through that, but it should be more than that. So it should be, in developed countries, is more towards 18. And then a 1% increase in the literacy rate. Currently Meghalaya is at somewhere around 74. 1% increase in literacy, it corresponds to 0.3% increase in country's GDP. An additional year of schooling increases an individual earnings by 6 to 10%, sorry. So these are all stats which have been come out after extensive research, and this is telling something which we already know deep down inside, the value of education. So I hope now the context is set and we all are on the same page, that it's the most important thing, and we all need to contribute so that the future generation can be equipped with the skills they need and can be also a responsible citizen. Now coming to the elementary education scenario of Meghalaya, so what are we dealing with? You will be a teacher of lower primary school, so you should know the stats. We have roughly around 9,000 plus, in fact 9,185 LP schools overall. We have more than 26,000 teachers. We have roughly 5 lakh students enrolled in this elementary education system. Our GER, NER at the elementary level is very good. It is because of the so many schools which have been established under the RTE provisions of distance, and mostly all villages are having LP schools. So that is why we see such a good GER and NER in our pupil teacher ratio. Because of this, of course, we have a problem of excess number of teachers which needs to be rationalized, but the pupil teacher ratio currently for elementary is 18.35, which is wonderful. Moving to the next and very important aspect of right of children to free and compulsory education. RTE Act, essentially 2009. So it gives a right to children between the age of 6 to 14 for free and compulsory education. So that is why we have all the government schools there which are providing that for them. And then section 17, prohibition of physical punishment and mental harassment. So this has been over the last several years, a lot of awareness has been done on that. And all of you should take a note of this. There's no kind of physical punishment and mental harassment can be given to the children. Now this RTE, there are many aspects, and I really encourage all of you to take a copy of this act and read it in detail, and it will give you great insights. But the crux of it is here. So the minimum number of school days for lower primary which is required is 200 in an academic year. For this year, we are making a calendar. We'll be releasing it soon, and it comes little over that. And the minimum instructional hours in any LP school should be 800 hours. And for the same for UP, minimum schooling days should be 220 in academic year, and a minimum instructional hour should be 1,000. And there are two very important sections in this act. Section 24 deals with duties of a teacher, and section 19 deals with norms and standards of a school. So this is also very, very important. Going to the next slide. Foundational literacy and numeracy. Now this has FLN, in short it's called FLN. So this has become the focus these days because, as I said, for example, when we make a house, the most important thing is the foundation. So FLN is the foundation to everything which happens later in the schooling years. It refers to the basic skills in reading, in writing, and in mathematics, and it pertains to 3 years of pre-primary. So now before entering the class 1, the students, the children should have had 3 years of pre-primary education. So that is also very, very important, be it in Anganwadi, be it in any preschool, in the pre-primary section of a LP school, but it should be 3 years before they enter the class 1. So these 5 years collectively are the target for the FLN. Look at this fact: 90% of the child's brain develops by the age of 5. So now the pre-primary is even more important, and in fact right from the beginning, I think the first 3 years of a child is very, very important. So that is the responsibility of the parents, that they have a healthy environment, the child gets all the nutrition and the right conditions for the development of the brain. So this is very, very important. We have in Meghalaya, we have under Samagra Shiksha, we have something called Nipun Bharat. So that is essentially working. There's a separate team, Nipun Bharat team, Nipun Meghalaya team, which is working to implement and ensure that this FLN takes place across the state of Meghalaya. So this is something which you all as LP teachers, it will be your first responsibility to ensure that all your students of class 1, class 2, till class 2, they basically achieve this FLN, and the basic skills in reading are there, writing are there, in maths are present by the time they pass out of class 2. So this was all about FLN. Now moving on to the next slide. Bal Vatika and Vidya Pravesh. Now, what is Bal Vatika? So, Bal Vatika is the 1 year of preparatory class before class 1. It is basically the last year of pre-primary. So, as I said, 3 years of pre-primary has to be there, and the last year, so it can be kindergarten 1, it can be kindergarten 2, and then the Bal Vatika, and then class 1. So it is like that. So it is part of the pre-primary education. And if you are looking at the screen, this is the model Bal Vatika. It should be all colorful with all the figures, facts, and drawings and toys and child-friendly furniture, etc., etc. So this is a model Bal Vatika, and we encourage all schools to set this up, and we'll also try to make this happen in all the government schools. Focus here should be on FLN and the early childhood care and education. Now, what is Vidya Pravesh? So now when the child for the first time, he or she comes to the school, that is, he gets admission in class 1. So the first 3 months of class 1 should be a special module, and in fact NCERT has a published book on this. There's a booklet available, online is also available, which is called Vidya Pravesh. Is a 3-month capsule course for those entering the school, basically class 1. So it makes them ready for schooling. It's like a preparatory course for class 1, and ideally we want, of course, all of them to have 3 years of pre-primary and then come to class 1. But it happens that in many cases they only have 1 year of preschool or 2 years, and then this Vidya Pravesh becomes even more important in those cases. So I hope these two concepts of Bal Vatika and Vidya Pravesh are very clear. These are very, very important as it comes to the elementary education and in fact pre-primary education. Let's move to the next slide. Teacher Professional Development, TPD. Now if you go through NEP, which is again a very wonderful document, a little detailed, so I would encourage all the newly recruited teachers to take a printout of that NEP and go through each and every page, something about 60 pages, and it will give you great insights into what the future of teaching is all about. So that will align yourself to what are the initiatives the government will be taking, the department will be taking, and so you will be aware of all these jargons and what's happening in the department. So please take a printout and or read online, but read the document of NEP 2020. So one of the things it talks about is that every teacher should have 50 hours of TPD every year. That means that basically training, in-service training. So every year, suppose you join in this year 2024, so this year your total training hours should be 50 hours. So you can have 6-7 hours of training every month or something like that. So we will be working alongside with diets to make a plan on that, but you yourself can also do it, because now so many courses are available online on portals like Nishtha and other portals, private universities, and abroad also many universities have their online courses. So it's really fascinating, the power of internet. You can do this on yourself, sitting at home on a holiday, stuff like that. But 50 hours of TPD is what the NEP suggests. If you do more, it's even better, because every year things change. Education is evolving, the methodology, the tech, the ed tech is evolving, ICT is evolving, STEMs is evolving, so many things are evolving. So you need to have constant training in all these respects. So now the second point is the pedagogy keeps on changing. So you need to keep yourself updated. That is why this TPD is even more important. Keep following what's happening in NCERT, what's happening in DERT. They release many magazines, their online publications, stuff like that. So keep a track of that. Leveraging ICT, ChatGPT, and new forms of EdTech. So on the school you will be on your own, but these technologies are, most of them are freely available on the internet, and they have the potential to help you to improve your teaching delivery, to make lesson plans, to make question papers, to make TLMs and stuff like that. So use ICT, use ChatGPT, and innovate yourself how you can improve your teaching. STEM is very, very important. Of course, it's right now the focus is on secondary level. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But I think we should start talking about it with the basics, small things, simple things, even at elementary level. And apart from curriculum, also out of the syllabus, if you want to discuss something on STEMs, it will be really a welcome step. Now you should also tap into the e-content which is already available in the form of Vidya channels, Diksha, Nistha platforms. Diksha is all the online content, and especially during COVID years, it was used a lot. Nistha platform is used for all kinds of online trainings. And finally, be familiar with your diet, the nearest diet, and what kind of trainings are happening. Participate in that. If you're nominated for in-service training, do not miss that. Many a times we think that, okay, we have already got the job, now I'm selected, it's like done, I know what to teach, what's new in. But every in fact it's evolving very fast, so you need to keep yourself updated. So be in touch with the diet, your nearest diet, and what's happening in them. So this is all about your professional development, and you should take it very, very seriously, and you should show interest. Okay, that I personally, you should take a pledge to ensure that, okay, I'll do this 50 hours of TPT every year, be it offline organized by the department, or be it online on my own initiative. But I will still do this 50 hours of TPT. So this is very, very important for all the teachers. Next slide, improving classroom teaching. Now, how we can leverage the existing things and improve classroom teaching. So this is a very interesting thing. NCF has already come out for FS for the foundational stage, and it will come out for the others as well. And based on that, a state curriculum framework will also come out. So these documents, although are very huge and bulky, but very, very relevant for you. All teachers should read. All those who are involved in education should read and learn and adopt things from this curriculum. Then as a teacher, it's very, very important to prepare the teaching plan, the lesson plans. How are you going to achieve the whole academic year? You should plan what you are going to deliver the next week. You should have a lesson plan for that. You should use innovative examples. You should do some research. You should do some extra reading before going to the class. So all these things will definitely improve the classroom training. LOs are very, very important, the learning outcomes. So what happens is, when a course is made, when a chapter is made, there are certain learning outcomes which are expected, that after reading this chapter, the children will understand, or they're supposed to know this. So there are some defined LOs which are there, and thankfully in NCRTs, which now we have adopted, LOs are already mapped to all the content, and there is a separate booklet released by NCRT, which is also available online, on learning outcomes. So familiarize yourself with the learning outcomes and make sure that these are actually happening, because in future assessments will be all based on LOs. Now another very important thing is that ensuring formative assessments. We have for long we have only seen one exam, or a half yearly and a final exam, and then everything is asked in the one single final exam, and it all depends how it goes. But the ideal situation is that constantly you should take some kind of unit test, some kind of small assessments, formative assessments, so that they keep on learning and they realize their mistakes in the short run, and then they can improve in the long run. So promoting and ensuring formative assessments is the future, and you should also adopt yourself to it. Using ICT and smart class setup wherever it is already there, make sure that you use that. I have seen that in many schools where it was given, it is not used, and then it gets abandoned, and then IT equipments are like that. If you don't use it for long, then essentially it becomes useless, and then it will not work, and it's a waste of space, it's a waste of resources, money, and everything. So try to use ICT and the smart class setup, which is if it is already there in your school, or if not, there are ways by which you can get it done. Innovative use of TLM and teaching aids. TLMs are very, very important, and over the last 1 year, I've come across many teachers which have actually prepared themselves very innovative TLMs to make students understand some kind of concepts. So this is the thing which is happening in diets. The associate professors, etc., they are doing this kind of research and they are coming up with books as well. But I've also seen some of the teachers do it. So it's a very interesting thing. And whatever you teach, wherever you teach, I think you can come up with your own TLM as well. And it will definitely help. And if it's good, it's always a good practice to share your TLM. So best practices. So that is something which we are planning to do, to document the best practices done by teachers in Meghalaya, so that cross learning can be there. You can learn from the other teachers can learn from you. So that is very, very important. Last is very interesting, building as learning aid, which is in short called Bala. If you look at the picture, it's just a simple staircase, but the school has written the tables on that, and meanwhile students go up and down. They just have a quick look at that and it refreshes their memories. So basically using building as a learning aid. So it can be anything. It can be science diagrams, it can be tables, it can be math formulas, it can be quotations, it can be motivational thoughts, it can be so many things. So basically how you use your building as a learning aid. So it's a very interesting concept, and if you Google about it or read more about it, you'll get to know and you can implement it in your school. So this will help a lot in improving. These all points which are mentioned will help greatly in improving classroom teaching. Next slide. Midday Meal, the earlier name, and now it's called PM Portion. I have personally seen over the last 6-7 years what a great impact this has. Wherever enrollment was low and midday meal was initiated, amazing changes in enrollment. Students come to the school for the meal, and in the process they learn. So it's an effective scheme, it's a proven scheme, but we have to ensure good implementation, that every day they get the meal, they get the good nutrition, which is also linked to attentiveness and IQ. One way we can improve is that every school, if they have kitchen gardens. So as of now, we only have 11% of our school have kitchen gardens. It takes nothing. Nagaland has achieved 100% in that. So if Nagaland, like similar topography, similar terrain, can do that, we can also do that. So this year, let's target 100% kitchen gardens in our school. So kitchen gardens are such a great way to learn. You will get some vegetables and fruits for your midday meal as an additional input, free of cost. And also students, while they plant it and they nurture the trees, they will understand the importance of agriculture and nutrition, and it's a great activity to do as well. So many benefits of having kitchen garden in schools. One of the best practices I want to share is that the use of tiffins in Ding Ding Govt LP School. 3 teachers who joined in 2021 saw that there's zero enrollment and saw that there were many problems with the midday meal implementation. They sorted it out. They went to the houses of parents. They encouraged them to send them to the children to the school, and today the enrollment is more than 120. So amazing achievement. So this scheme has great potential. So as the teachers, you are also responsible to ensure that this schemes is implemented and our children get the meals every day of school. Next slide. Vidya Shamiksha Kendra, VSK, is many states have already done it, and we are also on the verge of completing it. So what is it? Like a command center rule. So all the data relating to education will be coming to this, and there will be a big wall like this with people sitting and analyzing what's happening. We will connect it to TIMS. So as a teacher, I want you to know that you have to download this app called TIMS app, and then you have to give your attendance through this app, and many other facilities are also being onboarded. So we want to make this TIMS app as a one-stop solution to everything. Teacher transfer module is also in developmental stage, and hopefully in a couple of months it will be all ready. Teacher salary and budgeting will be integrated. VSK to become unified dashboard. So every data, every KPI which is relating to education will be captured, and we can just see it on the big screen and analyze district wise, block wise, inter-school comparisons, see the trends, where things are going wrong. So we'll have a whole team dedicated to doing that. So this hopefully will be completed in another 2 months. Saral app is developed by NCRT. Is a simple app. The meaning of the word is also simple. So this can be used as a tool for assessment. So every teacher will do assessment using Saral app. So I'm talking about formative assessment. So let's see, first week of school. So today we tell all the school, today you will do this test. So you can just open your mobile, do the assessment using the Saral app, and then all the data will immediately, it will be a live data and it will show in the VSK where the state team will be sitting. So that is very, very important. Ensuring that your UDICE data is updated. So this is for all the schools, because you'll be going to schools, maybe you are a single teacher or maybe 2 teachers are there. Please ensure that your UDICE data is updated immediately, because everything, all the schemes and all will depend on your UDICE data. Government of India pulls the data directly from UDICE. So if you don't have, if you're not put or updated your enrollment there, you may lose out on certain benefits. So UDICE is very, very important. This time they are doing student management, student database is there now. Like every student can be tracked. Every student will have a unique ID. Every student details will be entered, so we can track the trajectory across schools. So wonderful things are happening on the data front, and you should also leverage the power of data mining and data information, data management. Next slide. This is something which we started in, which we experimented rather in Dadingre, East Karo Hills and West Karo Hills. So STAR means school transformation by augmentation of resources. There are many resources around us. There are many people who want to participate, communities there. Convergence with departments can be done. District administration can be collaborated with. So many things can be done to improve the status of schooling, education and other indicators using whatever resources are available near you. So that is the whole concept. There's no scheme, there's no fund. Whatever is available, whatever can be made, whatever can be donated, it's a volunteer effort. So if you also have ideas, innovative ideas, I'm sure things will work out. Somebody will come ahead and help. And basically this is the whole approach of Project STAR, where we do a student-centric approach, all-round development, but tapping into existing schemes and projects. Basically, what is existing, we'll just bend it in a way that it benefits the education scenario. So this you can implement, you can be innovative, and you can have your own form of Project STAR in your school. So that will be so wonderful, and please share it with us. So if it's very good, then we'll share it with other schools as well. So that is what Project STAR is all about. Next slide. So we have developed a portal. It's called adoptaschool.megeducation.gov.in. You can upload this your school details in that, and basic details are already there. And suppose you want something, suppose you want let's say sports equipment, so you can upload your requirement on the portal. Then if you know somebody who is interested, you can share the link with them and they can adopt and they can give you that. Or those donors who are there, active donors who are already doing it. So if you can see in the slide that 123 schools have already been adopted, and there are like 28 different contributors, and then more than 6,000 students have benefited out of this portal. So and onboarded schools are like almost all schools are onboarded in this. So please make use of this wonderful portal, which the idea is to connect the donors those who want to do something for their education to those who actually are in education and need some help. So it's a wonderful portal. Please make use of it and improve your school. Next. Lastly, I want to end with a quote that from classrooms and playgrounds to careers and world leaders, you are the shaper of minds, you are the nurturer of dreams, you are a teacher. It's a wonderful opportunity. You'll be working for the next 35 years, so many generations, young students you'll be nurturing, and literally the future of Meghalaya is in your hands. If you lay a good foundation, they will do good ahead, they will have good careers, they will realize their potentials, they will realize their proclivities and work upon it. So you have a great job at hand. I wish all the teachers all the best who are going to join the lower primary schools, in government schools and in other schools as well, because your job is the most fundamental when it comes to education. So all the best. Thank you so much for listening to this. Kuble Shabun, Mithila.